Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Bussey, and this is the Council Minute for the week of October 5th. This week, I want to start with a real feel-good story, and frankly, calling it a feel-good story is a bit of an understatement. On Monday evening, I was honored and incredibly humbled to recognize a donation to the city made by our friends and neighbors at Cedar Valley Church. Cedar Valley Church made a donation in the amount of $87,518, and the purpose of this incredibly generous gift is to pay all of the past due utility bills in their neighborhood. The congregation of Cedar Valley Church is paying the past due utility bills of more than 200 families in the 55425 zip code. Cedar Valley Church is hoping to relieve some of the financial burden that our neighbors have been experiencing during the pandemic. And in the statement that will be provided to each of their neighbors who will benefit from this wonderful act of generosity, Cedar Valley Church wrote this: "We know that the past few months have been filled with difficult and trying times. We at Cedar Valley Church have been praying for you and believe that we are to love our neighbors as ourselves." I specifically want to thank Pastor Neil Rich and Trustee Dave Gohl. Both of these gentlemen joined the council meeting on Monday night to share this gift. Their leadership and the loving, open-hearted generosity of the entire congregation demonstrates what it means to have a strong and connected community. On behalf of Bloomington, thank you, Cedar Valley Church. This week, the City Council spent quite a bit of time talking about a redevelopment proposal that generated a lot of neighborhood concern and opposition. A development company named Penn Lake City Homes is proposing to build a 15-unit townhome development at the northeast corner of 86th and Penn. The site currently has 2 single-family lots, so the proposal would be a significant change. During the public hearing and in many emails sent prior to the meetings, residents in the area expressed concerns about the possibility of traffic increasing, the removal of a lot of trees, the regrading of the property and how that might affect the city's stormwater system and ponds, and the possibility that the townhomes would be turned into rental properties. My colleagues on the council asked a lot of questions of our staff and of the developer to make sure that we addressed the questions that the neighbors had and to make sure that we understood the benefits this new development might offer to Bloomington. If you've been watching these Council Minute videos over the past several months, you've heard me talk a lot about housing. We've spent quite a bit of time exploring ways that Bloomington can add more housing that people can afford to meet the need and demand in our community so that people aren't getting squeezed out. Much of our conversation has been about rental housing, but the Council has also focused on ownership opportunities. As a fully developed community, we don't have many options to build new owner-occupied housing that also meets the criteria of housing that people can afford. One of the project benefits that a number of my council colleagues talked about was having townhomes available as part of the life cycle of home ownership. Many Bloomington residents are looking to sell their single-family homes as they become empty nesters, and this type of development ensures that people who have invested in Bloomington and who love Bloomington have the opportunity to stay in Bloomington. In the end, the council approved the comprehensive plan amendment and the rezoning to allow this type of development. But before approving the project itself, the council wanted to explore some conditions to be sure that resident concerns and council concerns are adequately addressed. Staff will be working with the developer to add some conditions of approval that address concerns about safety and traffic access, tree removal, and regrading. The project will be back in front of the council on October 19th to determine if the concerns have been addressed enough to move forward. This is not another public hearing, but as always, residents are certainly welcome to call or email me or anyone on the City Council to share your thoughts. As you probably know, early voting is already underway. In-person absentee balloting began in Bloomington on September 18th, and so far, more than 4,000 ballots have been submitted. Many more have already been sent to Hennepin County. This trend of high participation in early voting is not unique to Bloomington. Nationwide, more than 4 million voters have already cast their votes. We know that voter participation this year is going to be very high. I want to encourage all of you to make sure you have a plan to be sure that your vote counts. If you're planning to vote on Election Day, November 3rd, be prepared to wait in line. And if waiting in line concerns you, especially this year with COVID-19 and social distancing the norm, check out the options that you have to vote early. You can vote in person at Bloomington Civic Plaza. You can vote Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. You can request an absentee ballot either from the Minnesota Secretary of State or Hennepin County Elections. Since we're less than a month away from Election Day, the ballot should be sent to you within a day or two of your request. Do not wait once you receive it. Very carefully fill it out and mail it back in the postage-paid addressed envelope that comes with the ballot. The ballot must be postmarked on or before Election Day, November 3rd, and received by Hennepin County by November 10th. Now, if you're concerned about the mail, you can put your absentee ballot in our brand new drop box in the west parking lot at Bloomington Civic Plaza. You can't miss it. Just look for the big red, white, and blue banners. Like anything, if you use the drop box, there are specific instructions that you need to follow. Things like only registered Bloomington voters can drop their absentee ballots in the box, and you can only put your own completed absentee ballot in the drop box. The instructions are listed on a sign next to the drop box. They're also listed on the City of Bloomington website, or if you have questions, call our city clerk's office. They're happy to help you out. Or you know what? Just bring your completed absentee ballot into Civic Plaza. The City of Bloomington has trained election staff ready to receive your ballot inside the building from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. And just for your peace of mind, election staff will review your ballot envelope while you stand there. They won't look at your ballot, that's obviously private, but they will make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed, and that your ballot envelope is correct and can be accepted by the absentee ballot board. More information on how to request and submit an absentee ballot, how to vote early, or answer questions, any of your questions on this year's election, it's available right here on the city's website. Voting in Bloomington is safe. It is secure. It is not a fraud or a hoax. It is your right as an American citizen, and I strongly and enthusiastically encourage you to use that right. That's a wrap on this week's Council Minute. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Be well and stay safe, Bloomington.